Hi everyone, and in this video we're gonna talk about Minecraft modding, how does it work, what frameworks exist to mod game, and so on. Let's get started. First is what is Minecraft. Minecraft is a voxel based game. The main feature of this game that all game world made out of blocks, and you can build literally anything from these blocks, but amount of blocks is very limited. So when this game out, players started to modding it. Modding is the process of changing game assets, adding new features like new armor, new blocks, new mobs, and anything that you want you can change or add to Minecraft. But how does it work? First, let's talk some words about game language. This is very important for modding. That Minecraft written in Java. Java is not popular choice for game development because Java is quite slow, but it's a good choice for a game like Minecraft. First Java feature is cross-platform. You can run the same build of Minecraft on Windows, Linux, and Mac OS without any porting. The second Java feature is object-oriented programming. This means that code described by code writing describing interactions of objects in game. Like when you want to add new block to game, you does not need to copy any code or rewrite it. You can simply extend class block and create, for example, moon block that extends class block, and you does not need to copy code of existing block. This allows us to update game faster and results in small code. And third is that Java is easy to mod and decompile than other languages like C++, because Java using JVM bytecode, its own virtual machine bytecode, that much easier to understand for people. What is game modding process? What we need to do to add something to Minecraft? First is modify bytecode. Bytecode is executable for a Java virtual machine. Second, add our resources to game folder and write launcher that will run this changed modified file, because official Minecraft launcher does not support such files. But when we creating modes this way, there's too much incompatibilities between these modes, because if one mod wanna patch the same bytecode part or try to patch this bytecode in different Minecraft versions, this causes much bugs, crashes, and problems, and we need to create something that allows us to either creating rules for patching bytecode, either creating API for registering added game assets at code, more compatibility way. So compatibility layer, as I said, allows us to avoid conflicts, faster develop mods, because it does not need to maintain all patches from zero, and also this is much easier to user, because users now does not need to install custom launcher. It can modify existing launcher or install compatibility layer once and then add or remove any mod very easily, just adding it or removing to mods folder. And there is two actual mod loaders for Minecraft, Forge and Fabric, but what the difference between them? Let's look at Forge architecture. Forge said us that you cannot patch Minecraft by your own because it causes conflicts. So I already did it for you, and you can use my API. So when you're writing mod for Minecraft, you're interacting with Forge API that already added needed patches to Minecraft code. But this is not ideal solution, because Forge API is limited and you can't add anything to game. You have to create own patches with mixins. We will talk about this later, but these patches may broke Forge API. So the problem of Forge was that it patches is too big, so it became hard to maintain and hard to update to new versions, and it results in big problem. When Minecraft 1.13 version comes out, it brings very much change to bytecode, and Mojang, game developer, almost completely rewrite a game from scratch, and that's the results that Forge API team had to rewrite their patches and patching progress from zero, and this takes almost a year, and first mods for Forge API exists only 1.14. So it takes more than a year to port Forge API to new Minecraft versions. So this was hard time for Forge, and when Forge API was not available to players, they created new mod loader, more lightweight and modern. But before we talk about Fabric, let's get some known information about JVM. JVM is virtual machine for Java bytecode. It's executing Java opcodes. As you see in this picture, there is stack and there is opcodes. This is simplified version of stack-based virtual machines, but in fact it works like this. We have opcode push 5, some data. We added 5 to our stack. Push 10, added 10 to our stack, and then executed opcode addition, and finally get 15. And that's how stack-based virtual machines work. So Fabric uses mixing technology. Mixing in programming is adding some code, injecting code to some process in runtime. What I mean in runtime? Runtime on application starting. So what Fabric does is adding these opcodes to needed places when game starts to change game behavior and add its own patches. What Fabric reinvent in Minecraft development? Fabric goes a little bit different. It said that so now you had to patch Minecraft code. So Fabric has its own API too, but it's much more lightweight, rather than Forge API, and for example it doesn't handle Render API or Dimension API. So these features handles other libraries that are managed by other teams, and that's allow us to update Fabric much faster, because there is mods that does not use Dimension API at all, or Renderer. There is only a few mods that I remember that used these features of game. So we does not need it when new update for game comes out, and most players does not need these patches. So developers and players who needed this can update it later. But we have lightweight base that updating much faster, but handles less features, and API doesn't have some functions that needed for other tools. But also Fabric, as I said, uses mixing technology, and it predefines rules that you can use to define your own patches. So if there is no library and nobody already created patches for this part of game, you can write its own and change code behavior to your needs. Also, there is Quilt mod loader. Quilt is Fabric fork. What mean fork? Fork is when you're taking Fabric code and changing it to your needs. What Quilt does, what Quilt already did with Fabric code, they added capability verification features and mixing conflicts. Also conflicts if you try to patch one class wrong way, it handles such bugs and errors and does not allow you to start such bugged Minecraft mixed code. But final goal of Quilt is compatibility with Forge API, and gives us ability to use Fabric API and Forge API at once in Minecraft. So finally, what framework to choose to mod Minecraft? For my opinion, if you're new to Java and you're new to Minecraft development, better to start from Fabric, because Fabric is, as I said, more lightweight, and it had better guides for newbies in Java and newbies in modding. It has tutorial, but Forge is also good, and Forge is much better for big mods. And if you already know Java and you understanding code documentation, and Forge documentation is not problem for you because it's a bit messy, you can try to create your mod on Forge API, and Forge API is also much better for big mods that can use full power of Forge API. So this was only my personal things that I thought about these two mod loaders, and it may be different for you and you like other mod loader better than Fabric or Forge. Thanks for listening. That's all. Bye.